Hello, 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 everybody. Welcome to rainy France. I'm sure this is the last thing people wanted to see. But nevertheless, here we go. Round one, new season underway in Smoking Pirelli's Racing Club. I am Jonesy CI. Today, I'm your commentator, and we're going to be having a look at the Thursday bunch and see how well they can get off in the championship. So, the normal strat, if it's sunny, we'd be looking at a relative medium to hard race, but we don't know whether it looks like it's only intermediates for now. The rain doesn't look too heavy, but who knows? The race might be dry. It might dry up in qualifying. But let's jump on board with one of the drivers. Let's have a little look and see if on track how bad it is. Everybody is on the intermediates. Yeah, it doesn't look very nice. However, it does look like there's a couple of blue skies behind those grey clouds. So we will see. And that is Mal Threats. He's disqualified himself from the session as he does have a qualifying ban. So we're going to stick on board with Pirate and Rehab. Yeah, may as well. He's the first one out, as always. It's going to be interesting because we have a relatively mixed grid this season. There's a lot of familiar faces that people will recognise, like Pyro and Rehab, Sadistic King, Jasper, who is the current champion in Season 2. Spillage is there on the Red Bull as well. He was Season 1 champion. We've got returning drivers like Nick, I Commons, Nate Smith, Super Calgon, who's been there since the beginning in Season 1 and 2. Bloodpool also. Pizatron had a couple of cameos in the previous seasons as well. Crossfire Strikes, brand new driver. That's going to be interesting to see how he gets on. We got Unc Wisburn, he's a reserve. And there is another reserve there in Crossfire is another reserve, and the final reserve this evening is Cameron Poulter. He takes part in the Tuesday League as well. So we are on board at the moment with Jack, Pirate and Rehab. So let's see how he gets on. He's pretty much taking everything relatively sweet and steady at the moment. In the background, you can see the blue skies. It looks like they're trying to force their way through, so we might see a little bit of a dry session towards the end of this qualifying. Who knows? But he goes into the first chicane, looks nice and easy. He's taking it relatively slow, nice and easy on the throttle, kissing the curb on his way through and utilising the whole track. Let's see how aggressive he is going around this corner. He does brake, he does go down to gear 7, trying to maintain as much traction and grip as he possibly can. At this point in this time, we don't really know exactly how hard the drivers can push. They're still out there trying to get a feel for it. It looks like he does go a little bit wide, and this corner can be so unforgiving even in the dry, but he's managed to keep the car steady and stable there. Not exactly throwing the car around the corner, being quite gentle on the brakes and the throttle. Going all the way down, come down to gear 2, gentle on the throttle. So he's coming home with 143.4. So that right now is the time to beat. 143.4. I will imagine that will be getting quicker. So we've got a track invalidation there. Unc Wisburn, he's coming around. He's just finished. He's finishing up his sector 3. He's already on 135. It doesn't look like he'll be able to beat the pole time. Provisional pole time, but we'll see. He's out on the straight now. We're probably looking at a potential 150 here, so we will see. Yeah, 149.8, so still a way to go on Drunk Pirate. We've had a lot of people go back into the pits, not liking their laps at the moment. Cameron Poulter going first with a 141.4. Unfortunately, we didn't see that one, so we will keep an eye out on future laps from him. But we're on board with Naismith now, just entering into Sector 3. Looks like he's taking it nice and easy round the corner. This can be a very fast corner, and you brake late to really try and hit that apex, which he has done pretty nicely, taking it relatively wide, kissing the curb on the inside and kissing the curb on the outside. That's great control there from the Alpine driver, Naismith. Oh, it's a Williams. My apologies. I'm looking at colours, not cars. So again, he looks like he's on for a relatively good time here. He's come around the final corner. He's already come around at a 135. If he can get his foot down, he might be able to get a 142 here. 42.4, putting him in P3. Nick crossing the line moments before with a 142 flat. Let's jump on board. Reloaded has invalidated his lap, so we'll move on to Commons has also invalidated. Spillage invalidated. Sadistic King B he is on his fast. He's almost finished in Sector 3. Let's see, he's already on the 128. He's coming around the last two corners now of the track, getting nice and tight to those curbs, and misses the apex on the final turn. Now, we did see 135 is really where the drivers want to be coming around that last corner if they want to get a decent time. This looks like it's a 143.9, putting it in provisional P5. Let's jump down the order. Azuri looks like he's just begun his lap into Sector 1, so we'll check back on him later. We've got Jinxie94, a new driver to the league in the Mercedes. Welcome. So yeah, let's see what this guy's all about. He's a 125 at the moment. He's being relatively aggressive around this corner, and what we were saying was a 135 around this corner. So he has done that, but he's missed the apex completely. So I don't think it's going to be a pole time, but it will be up there with maybe P4, P5. There we go. Not bad from Jinxie. Okay, so we're in Sector 2, coming to the end of Sector 2 now with RRL GR63, so that's George Russell 63. Just got into Sector 3, putting the fastest sector in Sector 2 currently. However, he has not put a lap round just yet, and he has invalidated there. So we are going to jump on to another driver, Spillage, yet to put a lap round. He's halfway through Sector 3 now, coming around that fast right-hander, and he misses the apex completely on both corners, getting nice and tight to the outside, leaving a lot of room on the inside. He touches the corner on the inside, and again he's riding the corner on the outside, so trying to utilize as much track as he possibly can. So now we're going into the last two corners now. How is he going to approach this one? He kisses the inside curb perfectly, and he is on a 130. He was on a 135 coming around the corner, so he could position himself here nicely in P1. Well done. He goes P1 with a 141.3. That's Season 1 champion for you right there in Spillage, and he came second in Season 2. So it's going to be a big season for Spillage, big season for Jesper as well, and also a league debut in Thursday for Pirate and Rehab. He'll also be looking to stake a claim. Quite a lot of drivers here who have got some relatively decent pace and can really throw a spanner in the works here for the guys who have been driving in this league for a long time. So, onto the other Williams driver, Gromfeld. Another driver who's been here since Season 1. He's always been relatively consistent, done relatively well. I don't feel like he's really got to show his true colours, really, in this league. I feel he's got a lot of untapped potential, but we'll just have to see. Almost looked like he invalidated this lap there, but he just managed to keep the track limits by the skin of his teeth. So he's halfway through Sector 2 now. He's coming up to the chicane and the fast right-hander. He handles that relatively nicely. It looks like the track is actually drying up a little bit. There's no rain anymore. We still have just over 8 minutes on the session, but we can still see a little bit of wet on the track. So I think it'll be at least another 5 minutes before cars start putting on slicks, but he does go fastest in Sector 2. But again, remind ourselves, he has not put a time round. At this moment in time, it means nothing. Kisses the inside corner, and George Russell 63 comes home with a 140.6, fastest lap so far. Still only just over halfway through of the session, so we still got lots more time. We'll jump on board then with Grunfeld. See how he approaches this. Kisses the inside curve nicely and the outside, so he's a little bit struggling a little bit to try and get onto the throttle. However, it looks like we could get a 141 here, 141.3, putting him into P2 behind George Russell, 63. Not a bad lap from Grunfeld as well. That was his first lap too. So we've got a lot of drivers currently sat in the pits. I think they're just waiting for the engineer to tell them, right, okay, get on your slicks, go on, get out. They'll be leaving as late as possible. And if it's not the recommended tyre, they'll probably wait, try and get one more decent lap in on their intermediates. So Jesper currently with an invalidation, potentially going back into the pits. Slow down, buddy. Reloaded is currently on a fast, just almost at the end of sector 1. Jump on board with Reloaded. So right now is really when you're going to be getting your optimal times on these intermediate compound tyres, utilising the track perfectly well. A little bit of understeer there. Ooh, just about managing to keep control of the car, but all the way down from Reloaded. Reloaded, I think he's been in a few leagues. I do recognise the name. I know he's got a lot of pace, so he'll be wanting to stake a claim to some decent points here in this league. Cutting the corner very fine indeed. It's going to be one of them. There's we do have a mixed grid. We've got I'd say we've got about 8 drivers here who really could stake a claim to the championship this season. There's some strong teams, constructors teams here as well. We've got particularly looking at where are they? What team are they? Red Bull, they're a very strong team. And the Ferrari as well. So Pizatron, a lot of pace. It's just a matter of being consistent for him, and Jesper as well being the season 2 champion. So whilst we're going around this corner, 133 for Reloaded, it looks like he might just get pole here, provisional pole. And he does, a 140.2, beating George Russell by just under 4 tenths. So we have pretty much all the drivers in the not as strong as the Tuesday Red Bull team. No, you got that quite right, Cameron. The Tuesday Red Bull team, they are the favourites. I'm being biased now. They are the favourites to win the constructors. And for those of you who don't really follow or are not really part of the league, the Red Bull team consists of myself and Cameron Poulter. No, Tuesday there is as well. I want to try and keep this onto the Thursday bunch as much as possible, but I do want to say Tuesday bunch, a lot of pace there. It's going to be super aggressive. The race on Tuesday was unfortunately abandoned due to the PlayStation servers. I know we were all affected. Everybody couldn't get onto their favourite games. It was a sad day for everybody. As soon as everybody went off, they fixed the issue, and it was a little bit too late for all the drivers to come back on. So sad time that Tuesday group did not manage to race around France, but they will take that race. They will do their race at the end of the season. So Tuesday season begins. Tuesday season begins next Tuesday. However, Grunfeld has just smashed the fastest lap with a 139.7. Sorry, I was hesitant because I did notice the time he put in towards his on his last corner, coming around the final corner. I noticed that he was on a 131. So not fair play to him. Feels like cutting the track now. He says, "I've done my job. Yep, I'm getting back to the pits now." So we've got Reloaded coming in. We have got the blue skies trying to creep through, but the track is just not drying up. iCommon's currently out on track as well. We still got a few drivers who haven't put laps in. Crossfire sitting in the pits, not put a lap. Pizatron on intermediates, not put a lap through. Bloodpool only just putting in a lap now as well. Super Calgon invalidation, and Curly sat in the pits. So we do have currently that is, I believe, 5 drivers with no times. We will see. We will see. So let's jump on board with Bloodpool. I know this guy. I mean, I don't know this guy very well, but I know he's been a part of the community. He's been with us since season 1. One of those guys who tries to give everything they can. Hasn't been racing for too long. Gives his all. Equally as engaging with the community as well. I know he's a favourite as well amongst the drivers. Always got good banter. So yeah, I mean, obviously wishing this guy the best for the season, hoping he picks up some hard-earned points. I think that'll put a smile on not just his face, but everybody's face as well, because everybody knows how much effort and time he puts into trying to get the best out of his racecraft as he possibly can. But this is him coming around his final lap now. So his nemesis since season 1 has been Azuri. These two relatively similar pace. They always have some good battles between the two of them. So Blood will really be staring at Azuri in their face going, you're the guy to beat today. You know, I think we're going to get some good battles between them. And Bloodpool takes P13, beating Pirate in Rehab as well. He is on his outlap, but he beats Azuri's time by 3.2 seconds. Now Azuri, will he respond? Will he come back at his arch nemesis Bloodpool? We'll have to find out. I mean, it doesn't look like it. He is sat in the pit. It looks like he's happy with the time he's got. He's going to stick. The same with Pisotron. Can't come out again. Time's up. So all these drivers on their outlap, they are looking to get in fast laps now. So iCommons, 3 laps already on those intermediates. There is approximately 2.2 seconds between him and pole. Could he potentially cause an upset here? Who knows? We'll have to wait and see. But let's jump on board with Jinxie. So Jinxie, just again starting. Grunfeld, he's going again. Grunfeld is going again. He said, you know what? I'm not done. I'm going again. I'm going again. Well, good luck, Grunfeld. We'll catch up with you in a bit. Ta-da! So we've got quite a few drivers in the pit still, which is Azuri. See, I think you're a little bit late, Azuri. Unfortunately, same with Pisotron on outlaps. I mean, hold on. Where is he? I mean, they've cut the track as well. Azuri, yeah, definitely. Maybe Pisotron. I doubt it. No, you can't get around there in that time. You can see he's pushing. This is the one I want to watch. This is the one I want to watch because I want to see if he can actually get round in time. See if he can. No, there's no way. There is no way. I want to see this. I want to see him cut big time because it is against league. No, I'm going to assume it's against league rules to cut the track purposely to get in on time. I don't know. It's not really something that we've had before, not something that we've really commentated on, but we've already got quite a few drivers locking in their times now. So, where is Graf? He's there. There's Grunfeld. Right. Naismith as well is there. Right. So we're going to keep an eye on a few drivers now. I think Reloaded is the first driver crossing the line. That is really going to be trying to stake a claim. Hold on, there's Pirate in Rehab as well. He's just crossing the line now with a 138.7, putting in P2. Not fast enough. That is the time locked in. A 138.7. Jump on board with Reloaded now. He is coming round the final 2 corners. He hugs the final corner, taking the absolute track to the limits. Let's see what Reloaded's got up his sleeve here. He needs about 2 seconds. Unfortunately, it's not enough. He only got 1.4 seconds quicker. He does go P2 at the moment. Grunfeld, he's happy with what he's got. He's gone in the pits. Now, George Russell, 63. This is the last driver really who can stake a claim. Cameron Poulter's there as well. He could possibly cause an upset. And that is exactly what he's done. He has done it on the softs. Curly as well. Thinking, do you know what, guys? Screw this. I'm going in. Sadistic King coming in with the time as well. These guys have got the goods. Now, is GR63 going to take it? Yes, he is. 134.1. So the softs were the right call in the end for these drivers. Lots of them decided to stick with the intermediates. Some of them took the gamble and it paid off for the drivers. So ROL GR63, George Russell 63 taking pole with a 134.155 with his one lap on the soft compound tyre. Cameron Poulter in the AlphaTauri taking 134.5 P2. That's locking out the front row there with the McLaren and the AlphaTauri. Second row we have Jesper and Sadistic King, both again soft compound tyre. Big brain moves from the guys, and we have Curly rounding up the soft tyre runners as well. Guys, time to get involved in the chat. Let me know who you think is going to have a really good race. Let me, come on, tell me who's going to cause an upset, who's going to win this race, who's going to get the best moves done. What do we think? We've got some strong drivers actually in the grid who are starting relatively low. So we have Mal Threats. He was serving a disqualification ban from from qualifying. He's got a lot of pace there as well. Pisatron couldn't get a lap round. He is also got a lot of pace as well. So we will see there. But starting your grid in pole position, GR63, P2 Cameron Poulter, and P3 Jesper. Those three are already title contenders. They're going to want to go for this. So let's see. Well, it looks like the blue skies have come out to play. Drivers will be showing a sigh of relief. They said, all the drivers, I can read all their minds right now, they were saying, no. Why'd you give us rain? We don't want rain. They're all licking their lips now. They can see that the sun is out. It is shining. I don't know if there's any rain forecasted later on in the race. I don't know. We will see. But these drivers will be setting up their strategy now. The preferred strategy is the medium to hard. However, some drivers may decide to go on 2 medium stints and maybe a soft. Who knows? Maybe if someone's feeling brave, they might go for a soft hard. Who knows? It's Formula One. It's the first league race. No one knows what's going to happen. It's a great chance to see the pace that these guys have got since this game has come out. This game has been out for nearly a month now. It's enough time for people to get set up. It's enough time for people to learn the game, learn the tracks, and hopefully put on a brilliant performance for all of us. So we do have a formation lap. So there we go. There is the tyre strategy. It did say medium to hard. And that is my bad. I did not mean to have the spectator menu up the whole time. My fault. Apologies. Okie dokie, so let's hide that now. And hide that. So, we have GR63 leading the pack, starting on the mediums. P2, 3, 4, 5, and 6 all starting on mediums behind him. Reloaded in the Haas, starting on the softs, looking for a quick start. We'll have to pit early, so we will lose some positions, but we'll see what his game plan is. Maybe going for a soft hard, long hard stint. It can be done. It's just a case of safety cars, so it might be a good play, might not. We will see. P8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 and 14 all on the mediums. Bloodpool and Azuri. The Nemesis gang on the hards. Crossfire Strikes and mediums. Pi and Super Calgon on the hards, and Mal Threats on the medium. Mal Threats will be looking to clear those hard compound runners as quickly as possible so we can try and get up the field and compete for the top spots. So yeah guys, I want to see in the chat, I want to see who people have got to win the race. Do we think that GR63 is going to run away with it? Do we think he's got some contention? You got drivers in there like Pirate and Rehab, a lot of pace. Grunfeld, Reloaded, Jesper, Cameron, Pi, Mouth Threats, Spillage. There's lots of pace on this field now, and be interested to see So yeah, who have we got for the race winner? Put your predictions in now. I think my money is gonna go. Ooh, if I had to pick, ooh, I reckon Reloaded. I think Reloaded's got this one. I think this guy knows something that we don't. But if you look at Cameron Poulter, look at the way he's angling the car. How many of these drivers are going to get perfect? Well, Gronfeld had a little bit of a spin. His tyre temps will be down. There was a blood pool at the back there, getting set back a little bit. Poor start from him, as well as the Ferrari. Now let's see Malthreats. Can he get in? Can he slot home nice and... Yes, he can. Nice and tight. Well done. So, jumping back up to the race leader, GR63. And away we go. Brilliant start by Cameron Poulter. Absolutely nailing that start. Taking the lead nice and early. That's what we like to see. Drivers coming round. Is everybody getting okay? Is everybody okay? Looks nice and tidy so far. It's a beautiful angle to see all those cars come through. It looks like everybody's home and dry. We've got a nice amount of battling in the middle of the field. Oh, there's 3 cars wide. Come on, guys, keep it clean. Nicely done, everybody. Uzuri is at the back of the pack. I think he had a little bit of a spin. So we've got a little bit of change here in the middle. All drivers filing a line now. Nice and neat. Nick getting around the inside, on the outside of Curly. Curly now, he's dropping positions. I don't think he had the greatest of releases. He's running a relatively low wing compared to all of the other drivers around him. Strange, but we already see Reloaded is up in P2. This is the guy that I predicted would have a strong race, maybe knowing something that we don't, starting on the softs. He's already overtaken GR63 and Jesper and Grunfeld. So now he is chasing down the leader, Cameron Poulter. Cameron Poulter had a flying start at the beginning, but we've also got GR63 on the back of Reloaded. So this is definitely going to be one of the ones to watch. It's going to be a great battle up here as well. Right, not too much movement going on up there, but it looks like Malthreat's overtaking Super Calgon. Malthreat started in P20, already up. Super Calgon now on the back of him. He's trying to use his battery here as well. Looks like Pisotron's trying to have a look on the inside. They go through side by side. Ooh, and they touch. But Super Calgon backs out, knowing that there is likely to be an incident if he carries on through. iCommons has now gone to the back of the grid after an unfortunate spin there. It's not ideal when you take a spin in these corners, because it really drops the temps of the tyres, and it's really hard to now maintain, you know, the level of speed and precision that you previously had around those corners. As you can see, he's struggling now with the back end of that car. He can't get his foot down 100% too early, otherwise it will go. Those temps should be coming up back to temperature now. Now Grunfeld on the back of Cameron Poulter. It looks like he's trying to make a move on the inside. He's already down to only a quarter of his battery left. He doesn't quite make that move stick. He slots in quite aggressively behind the number 1 driver at the moment, trying to go on the inside. Have they left each other enough room? It looks like they have. This is really aggressive racing from the front 2 runners at the moment, but Reloaded will have to get this move done relatively quickly, because those softs, if he's battling for this long, it is going to drain the tyres drastically. It does look like he gets into P1. Has he made the move stick? He can't commit to the corner just yet. There is a little bit of a tap from Cameron Poulter. However, Reloaded does make the move stick. It is all completely fine within the laws of the game. He takes the fastest lap as well. Cameron Poulter now directly on the back of him, looking to try and get a good exit, and it does look like he's going to get a better exit here than Reloaded. These two battling each other, going side by side through turn 3. Is enough room given? Ooh, unfortunately we couldn't see from that angle. The camera angle that was given wasn't ideal. However, we have another spinner as well in Bloodpool. Unfortunately there, Bloodpool, keep your head down, get it down, and try and catch up as quickly as you can. Maybe a safety car will help you out. It will come in your favour. So, battling across the field, we have got Uncle Wisburn on the back of Jinxie, making that move stick. Jinxie can do nothing, and he's just a sitting duck, and that's 2 overtakes from Malthreats as well, from P20 to P11 in just 3 laps. I count that as 8 overtakes. Not bad from Malthreats there. Jinxie looking to retaliate now on Malthreats. Let's see if he can do anything going into this corner. Very unsuspecting and unforgiving place to try and make an overtake. Not carrying enough speed though to come through, unfortunately. So nothing really opening up from there. GR63. Now he is on the back of Reloaded. And Reloaded will have the DRS. Doesn't have the greatest of exits there, but he has got the DRS on Bolter, but he has drained all of his battery. So that's not going to go in his favour at all. Pyro and Rehab, Crossfire Strikes also, they both just set new lap times, lap records, fastest laps. Cameron Poulter going wide, that's going to be a track limits warning for him. I think the tyres for Reloaded, I think they are going. It doesn't look like he's able to keep up. Yeah, the tyres must be going all over the back of him. Yeah, GR63 might have him here. I mean, he does have the drag of the DRS in front, and Reloaded is using his battery like crazy. Now, Crossfire Strikes, he's just overtaken Captain Jack. Now, chat, where did Crossfire Strikes start? I'm just actually going to check. Position change, that's 12 positions. That's a good, so far, driver of the day. Probably go into, at the moment there's 3 contenders. We've got Crossfire, Reloaded and Malthreats, all driving superbly well at the moment. Unfortunately, it doesn't look like it's going to go Reloaded's way. As it stands, there's no safety cars have been deployed as of yet. I think if we can go a whole race without a safety car, I think that'll be an amazing feat for these guys. Really, you know, setting the bar, setting the standard. But we have a DRS train at the moment in the top 4. Reloaded really trying to throw everything to get in front of Cameron Poulter. Doesn't look like it's gonna. Our Pirate has just gone down from P7 to P13. Not sure what's happened there. Right, so it looks like we've got GR63 on the back of Reloaded. Are these two going to battle going into the chicane? They are not. But is he going to look at it going for a different line, a different approach into this exit? He is not, but he is going to use a little bit of his battery to try and maintain that very close gap. So we might see a little bit of a lead. Is he going to go on his inside or outside? So Reloaded is defending the outside. He is now taking a wide line, potentially getting track limits there. A little bit slow going into these corners. GR63 tapping him slightly. Nothing in it, nothing malicious. And that is it. Reloaded has to go and pit. 5 laps, that's all he can do on those softs. Unfortunately, I think he was looking for a safety car. I think he was banking on strategy, and I don't know if it's working for him. If he puts on the mediums, he will pit again. If he puts on the... and if he does go for the hards, safe to say that he'll probably stick. So let's have a little look. He's gone for the mediums. So it's safe to say he will probably come back in again and put on another, if he's feeling brave, softs. But yeah, it's put him all the way down to P18. Not ideal. Let's see if he's got some pace to try and make up some more positions in the meantime. So Pisotron, he has come up from P, I believe, 17. So made a couple of jumps. Pirate was P13, coming back up to P10. Crossfire Strikes. Now, not really seen this driver at all, don't really know what he's about, but he looks like he's doing a relatively good job. He's holding his own out there, you know, it's, yeah, can't really say too much more really. He's closed the gap on these drivers and he's doing a good job. Let's jump on board with GR63 because now he's got the only driver ahead of him is Cameron Poulter. So really he's going to, more than likely really going to attack this opportunity to try and get in ahead of him before this corner. So DRS, flaps open, not using the battery. I think he's just using this to get as close as he possibly can. Cameron Poulter taking that a little bit too wide. Great exit from GR63. So yeah, sorry, like I was just saying before, I think he's going to wait until the Sector 2 DRS straight and then maybe make a move in there and potentially try and put a little bit of time in between himself and Cameron Poulter going on to the main straight. We will see, but Crossfire Strikes has now cut the deficit and is now right behind GR63 to Jesper's demise. He now can't. But well, yeah, because now he's within the second. Jesper now does not have that DRS to try and help him get past. So, jumping on board, he can't get the overtake here, but maybe he can get a great exit and try something now. Is he going to use any of his battery? Is he? There was a little bit of battery use there just to try and kick off the Gear 7 into the Gear 8. But no, it doesn't really look like he can. But Crossfire Strikes all over the back of GR63. Is he going to try and think here? He might go on the inside. No, he's trying to keep it clean. Doesn't want to do anything. And he's already created that second gap between himself and Jesper. So Jesper now is trying his hardest to try and get back into that DRS. So he will be pushing the car as hard as he can before the DRS detection zone, which is now, I don't think he got there. So we might see these cars drift away a little bit. But they are relatively close to the race leader. Is there going to be a move here from Crossfire Strikes? There is not. Jinxie picking up a 3-second time penalty. Very unfortunate for him. Other drivers with penalties: Pystron, Super Calgon, Jinxie. People are starting to really spread out now. We've got Naismith on the back of Pirate and Rehab. They are now side by side. See how this one goes down. Claiming that corner. Not sure if Pirate and Rehab was there or whether he backed out, or Azuri picking up a 3-second time penalty. So Pirate and Rehab using all of his battery to try and, sorry about that, don't know what that massive pause was for, using all the battery and with the help of the DRS to get past Naismith. Now he's going to attempt to chase down Unc Wisburn. However, he's still got 2 seconds to reach him, just over a second till he can get into the DRS range. Jinxie on the back of WTL Curly, hugging, just kissing that inside curve, and again hugging the outside, throwing the car in around the edge, and Nick picking up a 3-second time penalty. It could be a little bit on the throttle a little bit earlier. Try and really be aggressive around those corners, because that's where you make up the time. It's those corners that, yes, okay, it can unsettle the car, but the more aggressive you are and the more control you maintain, that's where the time really is in this track. Taking a little bit too much curve, unsettling the car a little bit, but manages to keep it. And yeah, I think Curly and Jinxie, that's going to be one to watch between these two. We have Unc Wisburn right on the back of Malthreats at the moment, and Malthreats is on the back of Gronfeld. Are we going to see anything here between these three drivers? Malthreats already is on the battery. Remember, Malthreats came from P20 and he has now just got up to P5. He's taken the outside line, the better line really when you clear the car completely, and now he's just going to try and catch up to Jesper, but he does have Gronfeld and Unc Wisburn, and both of them do have a little bit of pace. Yes, Dan, everybody's still alive. No safety car, no BSC nobody that I have seen has gone into the pit. You see everybody here is all on 8 laps apart from reloaded. But what's happened to Curly there? I think does his wing looks okay. Don't know if he's got damage. But yeah, sorry, what I was just previously saying, the only person to go into the pit so far is Reloaded. However, he started on the soft compound tyre. So everybody... Oh, hello. There we go, people starting to pit. We are starting to see some change now. So, people who've just pit now. Ooh, we got a soft compound runner. So that's definitely pitting again. Cameron Poulter not wanting to pit again. Crossfire Strikes has overtaken GL63. We missed that completely. However, GL63 now has a chance to try and fight back, try and get into the lead of this race. I do want to jump on board with Wisbon on Malfrets as well, so I'm going to quickly go there because I don't believe that there's going to be a move on P1, but it looks like Wisbon is going to go round the outside and claim this corner. The car's in the middle, but he does look like he cuts a bit of the corner there, Malfrets, and Wisbon does make the move stick. Good racing between the two, very determined by Uncle Wisbon. So we have, at the moment, 2 of our reserves in the top 4 positions. Our other reserve is Cameron Poulter. He was leading the race, but he has just pitted. He is on the hard compound tyre, and he will be looking to go to the end of this race on those hards. So let's jump on board with Crossfire Strikes. Is he going to pit now? What's the gameplay here? Is he going to try and stay out for as long as he can? Yes, Crossfire Strikes staying out. GL63 staying out. Jasper deciding enough is enough, I'm going in the pits. Wisbon staying out. Malthreat is out. Pirate is staying out as well. Good evening, David Beck. How are you doing? Nice to see you. Guys in the chat, if you haven't already, please give us a follow. If I'm not commentating, I am racing. It's usually 9 times out of 10 Formula 1 content, the occasional FIFA content, but it's good chat, it's good banter. All fun. It's pro clubs, it's not Ultimate Team. We don't pay to play or pay to win. We're not about that life. But yeah, followers greatly appreciated, guys. For all the people watching, that'll be really, really appreciated. Thank you so much. So back to the race. Let's have a look. So not really too much going on at the moment. Who's closest to Pirate and Rehab on the back of Malfrets? So we just closed the gap. He was about 9 tenths away. $10 for Azuri there, track limits. Not 100% sure what that was for. That's unlucky for Azuri. That is our first retirement of the race. 11 laps in, first retirement, and it wasn't due to a crash. Wasn't due to any driver error. It was just due to picking up too many penalties, unfortunately. Oh, how you doing, Polish? Yeah, sorry to see you missed the deadline. There is a 24-hour... there's a 24-hour check-in deadline. So, yeah, if you're ever looking to reserve for the races, just make sure that you're checking in. So if you're looking to check in for the Thursdays, make sure you've done that by 7:30 p.m. BST on a Wednesday evening. Otherwise, you won't be considered for the reserve role, unfortunately. But yeah, thank you for turning up anyway. We greatly appreciate the viewers. It's good to see as many as the community coming in and joining in with the stream as possible. We do enjoy that, and I'm sure the guys racing will appreciate that also, coming back, seeing all the comments and messages of support for all of them involved. So those guys just tuning in now, we have not had VSCs at all, no safety cars. The only retirement from the races is disqualification due to too many penalties being picked up. However, I believe it might have been a bit of a harsh one. as it looks like Azuri did lose control of his car and had to cut a bit of the track to get back on. So I think the game's just gone against him there. Can't say for sure, but it looks that way. And there we go, we have Crossfire coming into the pit. Looks like he's trying to, who was it? I believe GR63 trying to get the undercut on him. So that means Pirate is going in the lead. Now if I know Pirate, he is going to try a medium soft stop. Meaning he's probably going to stay out on these tyres until around about lap 18, 19. Sadistic King will probably try and follow suit. It's not a bad strat, but these mediums are going to be dropping off any time now. Right, into the action then. Super Calgon behind Spillage. See, all these drivers at the moment, their batteries, they're really going down. It's a lot harder, I find, to manage the batteries in this game. So, can Super Calgon do anything here about Spillage? He does have the tyre advantage, and we did actually just see Crossfire reloaded and Cameron. These three guys were going for it at the very beginning of the race. Now Crossfire looks like he's taken the lead out of all of them, and we've got Reloaded and Cameron going wheel to wheel through that corner. Reloaded is the driver who comes out on top. It looks like Cameron is still struggling to get to grips with those tyres. So we've got GR63 on the back of Jesper at the moment, both recently pitting onto the hards. Jesper picking up a time penalty. Let's have a look at the penalties at the moment, shall we? So we have Pi, Spillage, Super Calgon, Reloaded, all on 3 seconds. Jesper on the 5 seconds. That must be due to speeding in the pit lane. Mouthrex picking up 2-3 seconds. Naismith, Nick, and I Commons all 3 seconds. Jinxie picking up a 6 seconds, so that's 2-3 seconds. And Curly picking up a 5 seconds, which again is probably down to the pit lane entry speed. So there you can see all the drivers have had to stop at the moment. Top 4 have not stopped, so that puts provisional first place in the hands of Crossfire Strikes. So that really, by the time the drivers come back out, shove them down the order by around about 25 seconds, 30 seconds, that's where they're really going to be. So these 4 drivers out in front, they're ideally going to be slotting in around about, on their return, around about P8, P9, anywhere from P8 to about P14, really, realistically. So position changes at the moment, biggest winners. I know we just mentioned that P1 to 4 is, they haven't really hit yet, so I'm not really going to count them in it, but if you're looking at drivers, Crossfire Strikes is technically speaking provisional P1, and that's actually a great move from Jesper, and GR63 battling very well between the two of them. But if you look at that, Crossfire Strikes, he's up 12 places, and he's still got people ahead of him to pit. So that's what, 13, 14, 15, 16, up 16 places. Brilliant feat, and there is our first DNF of the day. And it looks like we have... Can't see a safety car at all, but I can, and these drivers in front, they have to be pitting. Pirate not pitting. It looks like he just missed it, unfortunately. Not going in his favour. It's not a safety car. It just looks like it's a PSC. Very unfortunate for Pirate. I think he just missed the pit exit when that happened. There's not too much here separating all these cars. It really isn't. I mean, I know you've got the likes of iCommerce, Jinxie and Gurley, they're quite far back. But then when you think about it, from P15 to P9, there isn't too much time between all of them. Yes, okay, Pi is 3 seconds off from Spillage, but this could be down to the VSC. Naismith as well, 10 seconds off from P7. Race control is DRS is enabled again, so it was only a VSC. Drivers back to full racing speed. Now, what is Pirate in Rehab going to do? I think because he messed up, or because he was in the unfortunate position where he couldn't pit under the VSC, I think he's now just going to carry on. He didn't get the free pit stop like everybody else did. He's just going to carry on. He's going to go another 4 laps maybe, then chuck those softs on and really go for it. I think it might maybe be a good strat. We'll see. But we also want to keep an eye on Crossfire. At the moment, they're at that 12-second mark. Is Crossfire really going to close down the gap? How much pace does he have? That is the question. So, jumping on board with GR63, at the moment, the battle of the race is between the McLaren and the Ferrari driver. Uncle Wispen has snuck in there as well, unknowingly. And now there's 3 of them trying to take that P4 position. As well, going on down further on the grid, we have Super Calgon on the back of Sadistic King on the superior medium compound tyre. Won't last as long, but if he can get through there quickly and then maybe hold it to the end of the race, might just be the move. Super Calgon did start on the hards, remember, and we are starting to see a lot of driver penalties starting to kick in, and I can imagine a few of them would be because of the pit entry. But looking through this now, I mean, there's me talking at the very beginning of the race, saying our Bloodpool and Missouri, they are nemesis, arch nemesis, rivals. They love the banter, they love to race one another, and they love to try and beat one another, most importantly. But both of them are out, and both of them will only take 0 points, unfortunately, today. So next week, the battle continues. Who can try and pull away, really. So any new viewers, anyone not familiar with our point system, we do actually have a system where as long as you finish, you receive points. Race winner takes 50 points, and it goes down from 44, 40, 37, 34, 30, it just keeps going down the order like that, all the way to 1 point in P20 as long as you classify. However, unfortunately, P20 and P19 in this instant, in Uzuri and Bloodpool, they will not be qualifying for points, unfortunately, so yeah. Also, any drivers who are in the or any community members, should I say, that is watching now on the stream, the driver of the day will open up in approximately 10 laps time. So it will open up 1 lap before the final lap. That's when it will open. That's when you can start casting your votes. I'm relatively sure spectators are allowed to vote as long as they are spectating the race and not just voting for their pal. I know that that's okay. But currently, yeah, there's a few contenders. However, Crossfire, Cameron, they have both done exceptionally well. But Crossfire has already taken, 2.5 seconds of time away from himself and Captain Jack. So when he does pit, it looks very likely that he'll be coming out in the roundabout the P7 to 8 area. So nothing going on here with Super Calgon anymore, but we do have a battle. That battle is still raging on with the Ferrari, McLaren and the Alpine. So the Ferrari did think about going on the insides. In the end, didn't want to. Kisses both curbs on the inside and out. Takes quite a wide line, looking for a relatively good exit. Gentle on the throttle on the way through. They are still on the hards, however, those hards will be coming alive now. So they'll be able to start pushing the cars a little bit more. On Quizburn, doesn't really have to do too much, just keep it clean, stay within the DRS, and he'll jump both of these drivers if he doesn't pick up any penalties. Are you going to get anything here from these bunch? Doesn't look like it. No, but that's nice seeing a little train between all 3 of them. That's it's good racing between them, nice and clean, decent amount of pace. So yeah, good racing, guys. Keep that up. We'll be viewing them shortly. So we see Naismith on the back of Mouth Threats. Mouth Threats had a relatively good start going from P20. I think he managed to get to P4 at one point. Unfortunately for him, I think the VSC may have just gone against him. And but yeah, he's still got plenty of time. He's still got 9 laps left of this race to go. Try and get some positions back and get some more points on the board for himself. Anybody down the further on the track, we've got Groenfeld on the back of Reloaded. So we've got some big names actually further down the track. Groenfeld he's really quick in the straight line. You can see reloaded using his battery, whatever he has left of it, which is pretty much nothing. He's got 11, but yeah, Gromfeld making light work of that, getting round the corner, and these two battling one another. Yeah, it's so far been a relatively entertaining race. Curly overtaking Pysostron. What's happening there? Looks like he's gone off track, had a little bit of a spin, probably pushing too hard, trying to get back in the mix as quickly as he can. Not going his way. So very unfortunate to see. We now only have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 drivers left now who have not picked up penalties. So there we go, there we have it. Pirate in rehab, as was called, has gone on the soft compound. So he's going to do this now for 8 laps. He's got to get those tyres up to temperature as quickly as possible, and then try and get on the back of Wisburn, with which, if he can get on the back of Wisburn and then overtake Wisburn with 8 laps to go. He secures a P3 podium. It's one of them. It's difficult to judge, but yeah, still only 5 drivers, no penalties. So, oh, hello. Has there been a collision between? No, there hasn't. Wisburn has just got ahead of all of them. Not entirely sure what happened there. Oh my days. So, P1, 2 and 3 are the reserves of this session. Pysostron has left the session. Looks like he's just gone into the pits and retired his car. It shouldn't come back out. It should just disappear off the screen, off the minimap now. But yeah. So, Crossfire strikes. He's slowly but surely increasing the distance between him and Cameron. Cameron as well, just sort of taking home nice and steady. I think he'll take a P2. I think he'll be relatively happy with that. But Uncle Wisburn is going to be under pressure from GR63 and Jesper. Now these three, for the past 4 or 5 laps, have just been going at it. It was just the Ferrari and the McLaren originally, but then Uncle Wisburn just came out of nowhere and decided he's getting involved in the action, was biding his time, and just absolutely took his shot and got straight through both of them. And he's already managed to put a second between the two. And I think that's just down to the fact that GL63 and Jasper have just been non-stop battling. And if you look at this here, Pirate has already taken off approximately 2.5, coming up to 3 seconds, really. Yeah, about 3 seconds now. That's mental. Those softs have really helped him get back up there, but how long will those softs stay nice and sweet for? That is the question. He is draining the battery as well, so he might have to try and look after that battery. You say that, he's on it again, but he is now going to be within that second. I reckon after these next 2 corners he'll be in that second, because Jasper is right on the back. There you go, after these 2 corners he is within the second, so he will now jump into the battle. But he does need to get ahead of them relatively quickly and then catch up with Wisburn if he does want a podium position. That now. Yeah. So what can he do here? DRS open. Goes on the inside of Jesper. Let's watch these two coming around. So they will be going side by side. He takes fastest lap of the race. He does go on the inside. And he makes the move stick. So now he's going to be hunting down GR63. And after GR63, eyes are on Wisburn. So he'll be looking to try and get through GR63 relatively quickly. Potentially on this straight coming up. Get a nice exit coming around this corner. GR63 had a relatively good launch there, so I don't think it's going to happen here. Reloaded picking up a 3-second time penalty. So that nothing's going to happen there. I don't think Jasper's going to get on the back of Jack either. So we do have, coming up, Sadistic King on Spillage, the battle for P11, both on the hard compound tyres. Both drivers, Spillage with pretty much no battery left. So yeah, as you can see, Sadistic catching up relatively quickly. Play it safe, good man. You don't want to be dive bombing anything there, so that was very wise from Sadistic. Bide your time. You've got 6 laps to go. keep it clean, and stay mean. Yeah, but you know what? The two DNFs, I think one was purely out of frustration. One was just an unfortunate accident, I believe, from Bloodpool, and the other, you know, the racing actually between the drivers has been clean. I haven't seen any malicious driving between anybody here today, but Jack making very light work of that McLaren. He's breezed around him and just taken that line. So now he will be chasing down Uncle Wisburn. He has got 1.6 seconds to try and catch up to him and try and overtake him. He's got about two more laps before those tyres. Those tyres are now, they're out of prime. Now they're just good. You know, the tyres, yeah, okay, they're in decent condition. Oh, and he's got a little bit of a bump there from GR63, and he is now over 2 seconds away from Uncle Wisburn. Not ideal for him, because now he's in the middle of a battle with these drivers. It doesn't look like he's going to keep this position. He's going to have to battle further, meaning he's not going to have the time. And oh, are they going to go through 3 abreast? No, they're not. Jack Pirate in Rehab does keep the position, but unfortunately for him, he is losing time to Uncle Wisburn. And Uncle Wisburn might just be able to hold on to this P3 if GR63 and Jesper decide to keep poking their noses in. Crossfire Strikes picks up a 3-second time penalty. Not sure it'll mean too much, because he is already 9 seconds ahead, so unless Cameron can pick up 6 seconds out of the blue in the next 5 laps, we will see. Curly has pit for fresh softs. He might be now trying to go for the fastest lap. We will see. But this right here is the battle to watch. Battle for P4. Doesn't look like Pirate and Rehab has got the pace now. I think those tyres have dropped off. I don't think he can go to P3 anymore. It doesn't look likely. So now the battle for P4 is on with Pirate and Rehab, GR63 and Jesper. Icon is picking up a 5-second penalty for speeding in the pit lane. Come on, Gary. Rookie mistake. There are a few drivers here that we haven't really shown much, given much airtime to today. Unfortunately, they've just not really been in the thick of the action. But yeah, let's go through a couple of them. Obviously, we've got our race leader at the moment, Crossfire Strike. So the relatively, a very strong performance this evening. Has picked up the 3-second time penalty for track limits, but other than that, he's not really put a foot wrong. Started, relatively close to the back. And yeah, he's put in a strong performance today. Cameron Poulter as well, started P2 on the grid. If things carry on going the way they're going, then he'll probably finish P2 in the race as well. But he had a fantastic start at the beginning of the race. Cracking job to get into P1, held it for 4 or 5 laps before people started battling him again. But yeah, really well done. Wisburn as well, one of the reserves who have come in today. So P1, 2 and 3, they're all reserves. And they've all done an exceptional job. Wisburn, yeah, not really much to say, put in a really good race so far, so yeah, keep it up. Pirate and Rehab, GR63 and Jesper, they're still battling, all 3 of them, trying to get that P4 position. The only person, Pirate and Rehab will still keep P4 as it stands, as long as he doesn't pick up any time penalties, but the battling behind him won't help him. He's trying to concentrate and get some pace down, and he can't really chase down P3, a podium position, if people are going to try and battle him like this, but this might be it here. He does have that straight line speed. Anybody who knows Pirate and Rehab knows that he loves a bit of straight line speed. GR63 being incredibly aggressive here. It doesn't look like anything's going to materialise here either. Naismith, another driver who's been with us now. I think he came in on season 2. Hasn't really had much airtime today. Sort of just been doing his own thing. However, Mouth Threats has, well, we say this, Mouth Threats has just overtaken him for P7. We'll have a look at the time penalties after, but as it stands, Malthreat's P7, Naismith P8. Behind them on the hard compound is Nick X04, again been here since season 1. Always relatively consistent, always around there, and we have had a spinner in Naismith. Commentators saying that we haven't covered him much, and there we go. There is a mistake from Naismith, returning to track with spillage right behind him. Not sure if it was a safe return, however, we'll see later on. Tyres as well for him won't be booming. But yeah, let's see if Spillage can actually get the run on him. Don't think he's close enough to make a move anytime soon, but yeah. Super Calgon as well, not really seen too much of him. He's had a relatively quiet race, again, another consistent runner. But yeah, doing well. Now we've got GR63 on the back of Pirate and Rehab. Round, I don't know, 27. Well, it was only 27 laps, but look at that exit Pirate and Rehab gets. It's no wonder they're not able to get him on the on the long straights with the DRS and the battery. It's not even using this battery. It's just icon. Gary putting in the fastest lap of the race at 132.47. Oh, another bad lap, Gary. Keep it up. Reloaded as well. This is the guy that I predicted was probably going to end up with a win. Started off so promising, had a brilliant, first couple of laps, but I think the strap just wasn't there at the end of the day. Sadistic King within DRS of Reloaded as well. Relatively quiet race, not too much going on. But yeah, he's one of the few, he's at the bottom, in the bottom 10 drivers who haven't picked up a time penalty, so we could potentially see him go up a few places. So perfect example why you should always try and keep it clean. Gary as well, picking up the fastest lap of the race. We'll see if we can I'll see if he can keep it. Right, so we're on lap 26 now. So that means driver of the day is open. Cool, driver of the day is now open, so we've just got a lap and a bit. Curly picking up a 3-second time penalty and Reloaded. So now we only have 4 drivers left. Curly was one of the drivers who didn't have one. Unfortunately, he's picked one up. So I don't think it will affect his time. But yeah. So it looks like GR63, and we missed that unfortunately. GR63 did get ahead of Pirate. The softs are most likely dead. So the best he can do really, just for the next couple of laps, I wouldn't really get in any battles. Just plod along. If you have to let Jesper go, let Jesper go. Stick within the DRS, that's the best thing you can do now. Take that P4. Let's have a little quick look at the penalties at the moment, see where people are going. Jesper, 5 seconds. So unfortunately it looks like Jesper will have to settle for P6 at this rate. Super Calgon, 10-second time penalty for cutting corners. Ouch. Ouch, ouch, ouch. Oh. Not ideal, but in any case, this right here is our race leader. "16 positions up, Wisbon's 10 positions up, Malthreat's 13 positions up." I mean, these, in my opinion, are your 3 contenders for driver of the day, maybe as well as Cameron Poulter. So the 3 reserves and Malthreat's Spillage picking up a 3-second time penalty. I mean, they've done incredibly well. Yeah. So Jesper getting ahead of Pirate. I don't think Pirate really wants to battle that. I think he just wants to keep it clean. But yeah, it looks like 3 seconds, yeah. Pirate looks like he'll get P4. So let's jump on board with Crossfire as he's crossing the finish line, taking P1. Well done, Crossfire. Debut for yourself as a reserve. Well done. Vive la France. Allez, allez, allez. P2 is Cameron Poulter doing a little bit of weaving to celebrate. Well done, Cameron Poulter, for P2. Strong race and racking. And yeah, the final person on the podium is Uncle Wispen. All three of them reserves. So very well done to them. GR63 is taking fourth. Wonder what happened to Pyro and Rehab there. I did see him actually go down as far as P7, so maybe a little bit of a mishap. But yeah, so Spillage coming around the last corner as well. Currently in P12, we'll see whether or not he goes up any positions or not. Nah, stays in P12, Grunfeld. And the final corner in the Williams. Some unfortunate day for Grunfeld. Didn't really happen for him, but I'm sure plenty more races and he'll be up there. iCommons coming through as well, sticking with P14, Super Calgon. Last driver around, plodding along. I think he was having a relatively good race by his standard until he had that mishap with the 10 seconds. Very unfortunate for himself. Sort of crawling back home. And there we have it. That wraps up our race. Unfortunately, I do not have any of those drivers apart from Cameron Poulter listed as a friend, so I cannot do commentary. But the game has given Crossfire Strikes the driver of the day. So what do you think, guys? Driver of the day, happy with the game's decision, or do you think someone else should have got it? I mean, very hard to say from my perspective. I think there's 4 potential contenders. So yeah, let's have a look at these. So finishing the race, his first race, or her, we don't know, their first race in P1 in the Aston Martin Crossfire Strikes, starting from P17. So a brilliant fight back to get back up there. P2 Cameron Poulter in the AlphaTauri, and Uncle Wispen rounding up the podium in the Alpine, starting from P13. All three, I am going to say again, reserves. So a great show from the reserves. Well done. P4 RRL GR63, 5 Pirate in Rehab in P6, Jesper, P7 Mouth Threats, starting in P20, so it was a great comeback from himself. In P8, Nick. In P9, Naismith. 10, Sadistic King. 11, Reloaded. 12 is Spillage. Comes second in the championship last season. Won the championship in season 1. So by his standard, probably a little bit disappointing, but plenty of races to go. Keep going. P13 is Grunfeld, and then P14, iCommons. Very unfortunate ending for Super Calgon, finishing in P15. P16 is WTL Curly, his best qualifying session with a P5. I think that's his highest he's ever had, so very well done to him. Jinxie P17, and then you have your 3 drivers who DNF. Well, 2 drivers, Pi and Bloodpool with a DNF, and Azuri with a disqualification. And that wraps up the game and wraps up the race. So, to everybody here who's been here right from the start, or just tuned in to watch the race and listen to the comms, thank you very much. My name is X Jones ECI. I've been commentating for you around France in the Smoking Pirellis Racing Club, Round 1, Season 3 for the Thursday League. Thank you very much. Looking forward to seeing you next week. Ciao, ciao.